Hello, and welcome to Invent Anything. I'm John Cronin. Coming up in this podcast, we'll discuss patents, trade secrets, the similarities and the differences, but we'll delve into things about what's called cross-ruffing strategies. Strategies that allow us to monetize patents, leverage trade secrets and patents better. We'll examine technologies and areas to consider cross-ruffing in. We'll talk about how it changes by industry, whether pharmaceutical or software development. And we'll lastly talk about cross-ruffing tactics specifically and where we think the future is, where AI might help us be driving these trade secret patent cross-ruffing tactics.
Inventions keep the world spinning. From fire in the wheel to today's high-tech, inventions power change. Turn your inventions into reality. Learn how to get your ideas to market. This is Invent Anything with John Cronin.
So I chose 6 topics to talk about today. One is patents and trade secrets, definitions, and the similarities and differences. The second topic is to talk about cross-ruffing strategies to improve the patents, leveraging trade secrets. Then in topic number 3, we're going to talk about cross-ruffing strategies to improve trade secrets using patents. In topic number 4, we're going to talk about monetizing patents and trade secrets with this leverage and vice versa. In topic number 5, we'll talk about technology areas and how these cross-ruffing tactics may change, say from software to chemical formulations. And finally, we'll talk about topic 6, the future of cross-ruffing strategies for patents and trade secrets. And I chose these 6 topics as ways to kind of help you understand what cross-ruffing patents and trade secrets are about, but there's many more, of course, that we could talk about, but we don't have time. And then, of course, I'll wrap up. Now, this is a very interesting podcast because it's really about a very specific kind of tactic in IP. So in sort of thinking about the audience, one audience for sure is if you're not familiar with cross-ruffing as a tactic, this primer is definitely for you. Secondarily, for small companies who want to save money, this is a strong way to manage your portfolio of patents and trade secrets using cross-ruffing. A third thing is that maybe large companies, you can look at cross-ruffing more formally and maybe add this to your IP strategy to have more sophisticated IP tactics. This is even for patent attorneys or patent agents who might want to expand their practice, because once you understand the cross-ruffing strategies, you can actually provide that as a service to your clients. A fifth area here of audience is thinking about investors who might want to get more value out of their IP in their company. Having their company use both patents and trade secrets is great, but understanding how to cross-ruff them adds even more value. And finally, for those who want to start a trade secret program, we have a great podcast on that you can take a look at. But for those who want to start a trade secret program, this cross-ruffing tactic is absolutely for you. So this is John Cronin, Invent Anything. And coming up, we're going to learn about cross-ruffing strategies to improve patent leverage for trade secrets. And then we're going to learn the other way around. We're going to explore similarities and differences between patents and trade secrets and their role in business valuation. We're going to discover how patents and trade secrets can be leveraged to deter competition and to have a distinct way to protect and monetize your IP. So let's get into the first topic, topic number 1, patents, trade secrets, and let's talk about the similarities and the differences. First of all, you should see podcast number 7 in our series of Invent Anything, because that describes what is a patent and what it can do for you. So we don't have to cover that again. Secondarily, you could see podcast number 11, using trade secrets to create tremendous value, so you can learn the ins and outs of a trade secret process. But let me highlight for you some of the similarities and differences. First, similarities. Both patents and trade secrets offer legal protection to prevent unauthorized use, and that allows you to have competitive advantage. Another similarity is both patents and trade secrets can add value to the business by enhancing the company's valuation or its total value in its balance sheet. Another similarity is both can be considered during the diligence process. So it's important to have patents and trade secrets, and they're the same. They add a lot of value. Another similarity is that patents and trade secrets can both be leveraged with partnerships and with licensing arrangements, etc. And finally, another similarity between patents and trade secrets is they can play a role in deterring competition by limiting or controlling the use of protected information about your inventions. But there are differences. Patents require public disclosure of the invention, so you can teach others to make, use, and sell it. But patents are also designed to stop others from making, using, and selling it, but you have to teach them what it is to let them know what you own so that they don't do it. Whereas trade secrets are kept confidential so that you never divulge them. Another difference between patents and trade secrets is patents is a limited time, 20 years, and trade secrets are indefinite. The formula for Coca-Cola, I think, which is a really big trade secret, has been a trade secret for, I think, 180 years. Another difference between patents and trade secrets is that patents give a right to exclude others from making, using, and selling. Even if they come up with it independently, they still stop them. However, trade secrets don't do that. So if you have a trade secret and that's stopping people from copying, that's great. But if they eventually figure it out, you have no recourse after that. Another difference between patents and trade secrets is obtaining a patent requires a formal registration from a government authority, the patent office, and it costs money to do that, where trade secrets require no formal registration and there's, quote, no patent office for trade secrets, and it's a lot cheaper to do. Finally, the last difference between patents and trade secrets is in case of infringement, patent owners must prove the infringers using the patented invention, whereas in trade secrets, they focus on unauthorized use of the trade secret, meaning it was stolen. So it's more of a theft issue than, a patent issue. So let's go into topic number 2, cross-ruffing strategies. And here what we're going to do is we're going to improve patents by leveraging trade secrets. So first of all, the definition of a cross-ruff. If you've never heard that term, I learned this term very early in my life when I was taught how to play bridge. And the idea would be that if a person has a partner, and there's usually 4 people, so it's 2 against 2. So in your partner, what you try to do is you try to throw a low card of value, like a 3 of hearts, because you know that your partner can trump that with maybe a larger heart trump card, so to play the suit. And so what's happening is that your partner wins that round, but then your partner will play a low card, say a club, 4 clubs, so that I can play my trump card, which is a higher number, maybe a king of clubs. And so therefore, we're cross-ruffing. In other words, I'm playing to his best hand, and then he's playing to my best hand. And by the way, the other team is doing the same thing. So it's an exciting game. That's where I learned cross-ruffing. So we're thinking about patents and trade secrets as a cross-ruffing mechanism. You do something with the patent that helps the trade secret, or you do something with the trade secret that helps you with the patent. So let's talk about ways to improve patents, leveraging the fact that you have trade secrets. Now, right there, that is a kind of very unique thing to think about. Because there are patents and trade secrets, you can now consider, I can have patents and trade secrets, but now we're going to get very strategic. We're going to say, no, we're going to figure out how to leverage, our patents using trade secrets. So the first thing you could do is you can improve your patents by what's called a dual protection approach. In other words, you use patents on the core technology to put competitors on notice, but while maintaining a completely complementary set of enhancements on the trade secrets. So you're having the patent to stop to copy you, but if they ever get close to figuring it out, you still have trade secrets that they have to figure out, so they're complementary. Another thing to improve patents would be patent part, trade secret part. This is just a fantastic strategy, which says that if I have a patent, and let's just say it has 10 method steps, you patent a first patent on method steps 1 through, say, 4. Then you hold trade secret steps 5, 6, and 7, and then you patent, say, 8, 9, and 10 again. So you can see how you can blend the patent and the trade secret together. So you're never teaching them the whole method. You're teaching them 2 pieces of the methods, which may have some value, but the trade secrets in the middle is kept very proprietary. Very powerful strategy, use it a lot. Another way to improve patents is selective disclosure of best mode. So this is kind of fascinating because you've got to know a little bit about patent law, but it basically says that when you file an invention, you're required to put your best mode. In other words, if you have an algorithm as part of your overall method, and you have an algorithm that works really very well, and another one that you started with that doesn't work as well, you can't just stick your algorithm that doesn't work that well into the patent to teach it, to try to get claims to stop others from making, using, or selling. And you kind of capitalize on the fact that you have a better algorithm that you're not going to teach. Because at the time you file your patent, you're required to put your best mode. And you sign it at the oath of declaration to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to recognize that it's really much better to file a patent early on, and later on your best mode doesn't have to be disclosed. So basically you create the patent knowing that you have some level of an algorithm or chemical formulation, but later on keep your best mode trade secret. Another thing to improve patents is through life cycle management. That is, you patent technology while it's new and novel, and then you can shift the trade secrets later on as the patent ages. And this is as the patent ages. This is a cyclical process that you're always going to come back and patent again. But be always thinking about, the life cycle of patents. Maybe after 5 or 10 years, technology gets eclipsed, but the trade secrets wouldn't. Another thing to improve patents is using what's called market-driven decisions. Here, what we do is we choose to say patent, recognizing the patent's going to have value for 5 or 10 years. But when we do that, we also recognizing that we're going to make sure we develop the trade secret part of it because they're going to last far longer. So by market-driven, we mean that the markets may switch away from sort of the basic patent that you filed because the technology gets eclipsed, but the trade secrets can last longer. So by bringing people into the market space with a technology, you hold them early on with patents, but then hold them later and have bar the competition by using trade secrets. Another way to prove patents is what I would call a cost-benefit analysis, which is that patents are reverse engineerable, right? In other words, in order to execute or to stop someone from copying your invention, you have to be able to reverse engineer it. And so what happens is that, you want to file patents that are reverse engineerable. On the other hand, there are things that are non-reverse engineerable. You could certainly patent them, but it's going to be hard for you to predict that they're using it. So this is where trade secrets come in. So because there are no fees and things like that for trade secrets, if you can look at the patent and say, is this likely to be reverse engineered? If the answer is yes, then maybe it makes sense to patent. But if the answer is it's going to be really tough to reverse engineer this, it's probably best to be a trade secret. And more importantly, you're saving money. Another way to improve patents is through what's called competitive intelligence. You use patents to steer competitors away from the details of your secret sauce. But on the other hand, and that's with your best mode, but then you trade secret as much as possible of secret sauce that you don't have to disclose. And what this does is it makes the patent much more valuable because now in order to practice the invention, they have to go through the patent somehow. They still have to figure out the trade secrets. Another strategy is to improve patents by using what's called process and know-how preservation. See, patents do protect the product that you try to manufacture, but there's a lot of know-how in making it. So in creating the patent, let's make sure that some of the know-how is not in the patent. Don't overteach in the patent to the point that you're disclosing all sorts of bells and whistles and things. You don't have to do that. Maintain those as trade secrets. And what that does is it makes the patent, once again, even stronger. And we say when it makes the patent even stronger is patents are meant to stop others from making, using, or selling unless they take a license. So if they're trying to sort of use your patent, it becomes a stronger patent, right? If they can't figure out actually how to really use it in practice. One of the things about patents to improve them is to use trade secrets for licensing flexibility. And here what we mean is that we can offer licenses to patents while keeping the operational details to ourselves. And maybe later on, if someone wants to learn the operational details, the trade secrets, that can be a separate license. So what we're doing is we're improving the patent, once again, by getting it paid for it twice, first for the patents and then for the trade secrets. And then finally, another way to improve patents is through what's called defensive publication. We've talked about in this podcast on enable publications in our suite of podcasts. But one thing we could do is we can use patents as the prior art disclosure, and we can put a lot of art in the patent, but maintain trade secrets of the improvements, etc. Now, you just heard me say that maybe you don't want to do that. And now I'm saying the opposite. Maybe you do want to do that. And they're very specific about when you want to do this. So if the know-how that you want to add is such that it will overteach them to be operationally efficient, that will be the place for the trade secrets. On the other hand, if the know-how that you want to add is kind of minor, that they would figure out anyway, so you would add it. And what that does is you don't maintain it as a trade secret, but it gives prior art for someone not to patent those details. So what we're doing is we're improving the patents by allowing the patent itself to have more defensive publication in the patent itself, but also maintaining the trade secret at the same time. So you can see that you have patents, trade secrets, and enabled publications working for you there. So I think improving the patents comes right down to the fact that, you can do a lot inside, before, after, during, or around with trade secrets to make sure that patent stays as valuable as possible. Certainly you want to stop people from using your patented technology unless they want to pay you for it. But trade secrets will doubly improve the way to do that. So coming up, learn about Cross Ruff strategies to improve trade secrets using patents, which is the opposite of what we just talked about. And also coming up, we're going to be talking about how you can monetize patents by leveraging the trade secrets, and vice versa, how you can monetize trade secrets by leveraging patents. And we're also going to discover things like how you can disclose a patent manufacturing process without revealing the trade secret compositions or some of the other know-how. All of that, once again, to leverage the monetization. This is Event Anything, John Cronin. And please, if you have any questions, email me at info@ipcg.com. Now let's get into topic number 3, cross-ruffing strategies to improve trade secrets, leveraging patents. So one of the first things we can do to improve trade secrets is we can patent the process, keeping the formula secret. So the manufacturing process, but that doesn't reveal sort of the compositions of the material that you might be producing. So what this does is it fortifies the trade secret, right? In order to get to the trade secret, they have to come through a patent. Another tactic to improve trade secrets is to patent the customer use of the trade secret. So you obtain patents on the technology application. So here you have a trade secret formulation that nobody knows how it's made, that you're selling to customers, but they actually take that formulation and turn it into something. Well, you can patent that application. So once again, we're leveraging trade secrets, right? By patenting the customer use. Another way to improve trade secrets is to end the patent claims before the trade secret begins, and vice versa. So as you craft claims, you're starting to think about where you want to end the invention. And it would be really good if you could end the invention sooner rather than later, meaning less steps, because that you can hold the rest as trade secret, keep them guessing. And you can do the same thing with trade secrets. Where do you want to stop your trade secret being a secret, and where do you want to begin the patent? So thinking about it that way, about before and after patents and trade secrets, you have an immense amount of strategic cross-ruffing to do. Another way to improve trade secrets is what's called optionality. Here, you're using patent applications that don't lay open, and then you use trade secrets later on of those. In other words, I'm getting optionality. Why? So I file a patent, but I don't lay it open yet. So if for some reason the market turns to that patent, I can continue, lay it open, get it issued, and use it. On the other hand, since it's there as a placeholder, the patent that's not laid open yet is still your trade secret. And if you tell the patent office not to go ahead and publish it, it won't lay it open, and therefore you still got the trade secret. That's huge optionality. Another thing to do to improve trade secrets is what's called the patent analytical method. And here what we're doing is we're patenting the methods for analyzing the performance or quality of the trade secret without revealing the trade secret. Now here, this is a little bit sophisticated in one sense. Let's just say that you have an absorbent material that absorbs incredibly well, and you decide that you want to protect this really well. What you could do is you could patent the function of the sort of super absorbent material, such as, you have maybe 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 inch thick of the material, you pour a liter of water over it, and it absorbs 95% of it. So you can actually patent that method of an absorbent with that function, but you never disclose the absorbent. That's held as trade secret. So there are ways to use this sort of, maintaining the functionality in a patent, but holding trade secret some of the key steps or key chemical compositions. Another way to improve trade secrets, and this is an easy one, is through the exit interview. Here, what we can do is when you have trade secrets with a trade secret registry tied to employment agreements, as you'll find in our trade secret podcast, what we want to make sure is that employee, when they decide to leave, they understand that the trade secrets they know are your trade secrets. However, sometimes it makes sense to file some modest patent, a very simple one, a basic one that covers some of the trade secret territory. So when the person leaves, even if they divulge a trade secret, there'll still be a patent there. And then tell the employee, look, we have a patent on this and trade secrets on this. Lets them know that if they have any desire to leave and use that trade secret, they're still going to run into the patent. So it's very important in terms of improving a trade secret. Another way to improve the trade secret is also very simple when you're building a trade secret registry. Trade secret registry is a list of all your trade secrets, who are the owners and the knowers, and what the trade secret is. But in that same record, if you could tie any patents related to that trade secret, therefore your trade secret registry will be even more powerful. Another thing to do to improve trade secrets is to use patents to block reverse engineering. So one of the things is you obtain patents on parts of the system that would lead to the discovery of the trade secret. It's almost like you're building a fence or a safe around your trade secrets by using the patent to do that. That in order to get to the trade secret, you have to go through a patent to do it. It's a nice way of thinking about it. Another way to improve trade secrets is what's called double marketing. Here, what we want to do is do something like publish on your website and all your marketing materials the use of the trade secret as being vital for protection, but along with the patents that you have that also provide protection. So what you're doing is you're using your website and publications to leverage the trade secrets, knowing you have patents. Maybe sound a little bit confusing, but let me take a little pause here to talk about that most companies that are like non-practicing entities that are called trolls, patent trolls, what they try to do is they try to see if you are violating their patents. And the way that that's done generally is you're just using technology to look at websites to see if your website description of your product or service is equal to their patent. And so one of the basic things to do to improve your protection of a product is to not disclose the details of your product or your service on your website, because it makes it easy for the patent holders to find out that you're violating their patents. But here we're kind of using that concept for patents and trade secrets. So we're actually saying on our website that our technology is trade secreted, but we're not talking about what that technology is. We're just getting the value in marketing. But then we're coming around and also adding that some aspects of it are patented. So we're getting a sort of double marketing protection by having patents and trade secrets. And finally, another way to improve trade secrets is what's called control the internal patent to trade secret linkage. Now, this once again is simple but very powerful. For every patent you file, you also have know-how that you might want to put in the patent or not. And this is the linkage. That know-how should be considered a trade secret and not put in the patent in general. And by making sure that every single patent that you file, where you think about the trade secret linkage, you can always pull out trade secret information and keep it trade secret and not put it in the patent. And that should be part of your sort of controlled internal patent process. So let's go to topic number 4, monetizing patents with trade secret leverage, and vice versa, monetizing trade secrets with patents. First of all, I think everybody would probably know that you can monetize patents by licensing or selling them. Certainly you can litigate them. And we've shown in a number of our podcasts, and one in general, that there's 6 ways of making money with patents. And you can go to the podcast series that we have to actually learn that. Sometimes people don't recognize you can actually monetize trade secrets pretty much the same way. People would take a license to learn a trade secret. And what you do is teach a trade secret through the license, and then you'd require them to keep it trade secret as well, because their value is a secret to you and now to them. So let's talk about it. What are some of the ways we can leverage monetization of trade secrets using patents or patents using trade secrets? So the first one is in license agreements itself. You can license patents, but you can also keep the trade secret part as know-how and not license it. What that allows is you to get some money for your patents, but not teach them exactly how to do it. One way to improve the monetization of trade secrets or patents is through licensing agreements. So what you could do is you could license your patents, but not license or tell them the trade secrets. That's kind of interesting, right? You would think that anybody who would want to license the patents would require to have the trade secrets. But the fact that you have trade secrets is a secret in itself, so you don't have to tell them. So on the other hand, you could disclose it, in which case they wouldn't license the patent unless they get the trade secrets. But by disclosing it ahead of time, you might not get any value added for the trade secret. But good negotiators should be able to negotiate both of those to get more money. One of the things that we could do to monetize is to dole out a portion of your trade secrets to help you monetize the deal. Happens all the time in big business because the processes are large and there's lots of steps to them. But you could license trade secrets on, say, the formulation mixture. You could license some trade secrets on sort of the heat treatments and the methods for taking that mixture. You could license trade secrets on how you package that formulation. So one could see that there's trade secrets along the whole continuum. And you could have separate deals with separate companies to license a portion of the trade secrets to help monetize the deal. Also helps have patents here too, right? Because as told before, we can always leverage trade secrets with using patents. Another way to monetize is with joint ventures. Here you enter into a joint venture where the patents are contributed by one party but the trade secrets are attributed to the other. So there's a great cross-ruff of two companies coming together, one with the trade secrets of the specific chemical formulations, and the second with the equipment that knows how to take that formulation and turn it into a product or service. Another way to help monetize is to enhance patent sales. I can't tell you how many deals we've done whereby someone wants to sell patents, but we can literally talk with them and literally dress that patent up by talking about all the know-how that they know from the prototypes and the use of the invention when they've had it. So you can dress up the value of a patent by adding the trade secrets. Of course, you're not disclosing the trade secrets in the initial patent sale. You're disclosing that you have them, but you're not disclosing what they are, because that would be giving them away. You have to wait till the deal is done to give them the trade secrets. But you can do a representation and warranty that you have trade secrets. So generally, when you sell something like patents with trade secrets, there's usually a holdback amount, maybe 10 or 20%, where when you show the trade secrets, you get that 10 or 20%. Another way to leverage monetization with patents and trade secrets, where one is leveraging the other, is patent pools. Here you could enter into a patent pool with your patent numbers, getting the value of all the patents in the pool that you're licensing into, then holding your own trade secrets as the way to essentially give you even more value in the market. The way I look at this whole space of cross-ruffing is to have your cake and eat it too, basically. Have the patents and leveraging the trade secrets, or have the trade secrets and leverage the patents. And note that in both cases, you may have to create the patents if you don't have them, or create the trade secrets if you don't have them. Another thing to monetize patents is a tiered access licensing. And here what we mean by tiering is a licensing model where you have basic access. Access level number 1 might be a license to the patents. Access number 2 might be a license to certain trade secrets. Access to license number 3 is more patents again. So you're tiering these things. And this is actually kind of useful in business because a lot of companies just want to get a big check for everything. And the company that wants to get into the technology wants to sort of walk before they run. So they don't want to pay a big price tag unless they know that they can do it or integrate it into their business. So what you do is you tier it up. You're swapping in and out patents and trade secrets all the way up. Another great way, fantastic way to monetize patents leveraging trade secrets or vice versa is patent-backed loans called asset-based lending. And here what we're going to do is use patent portfolios as the collateral for the loan. But we're going to use the trade secrets, which we're not going to mention to the person that's loaning us the money, that we have ways to improve the use of that patent. So if, in fact, you don't pay the loan back, generally the loaner has the right to pull the patents back. Now they have the patents as collateral, and now they have it, okay? So you've lost the patents, and they go out to try to recoup their investment. To come to find out, they don't know how to leverage the patents because you own the trade secrets. So now you can come back and re-leverage that. It may sound sort of sinister or illegal or shifty, but it isn't. It's just doing business. Another way to monetize patents and trade secrets is what's called patent and trade secret bundling to enhance your IP story. So you create a story, we call it IP story, in order to show the value of your patent, say. And by the way, please come to our podcast to look at what an IP story is and how it can be very helpful. A whole 30-minute podcast on that. But to enhance your IP story with patents, that's one thing. But if you could add trade secrets to your IP story, then that will show the improved value of your patents. And if you have trade secrets, and that's the story, you create patents in order to improve the value of the story. So you can always see that we can help monetize by adding your trade secrets into the value proposition. Finally, the last way of monetizing patents and trade secrets together when they're leveraging each other is to leverage the reverse engineering trade secret tactic here. And here what we're going to do is we're going to look at the claims that we have. We're going to recognize that we have trade secrets on the other side of those claims, meaning you go through that method that you own in patents, but then you have a trade secret. But the interesting thing is, where is it reverse engineerable? So maybe the patent itself is reverse engineerable, which makes sense, but the trade secret is less. So what we're doing here is we're making sure when we patent that the reverse engineerable part is in the patent itself, but the non-reverse engineerable part is in the trade secrets. So coming up, we're going to learn about different technology areas and how this patent and trade secret cross-ruffing works. We're also going to take a look at insights into the future of cross-ruffing patents and trade secrets. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Topic number 5, technology area considerations for cross-ruffing these patents and trade secrets. Now, up to now in this podcast, I've given a lot of different tactics and examples, but they weren't that technical. In other words, you might be in a chemical formulation manufacturing company, or you might be in a consumer electronics company. So what I wanted to do is to give 10 or so different examples here of how patents and trade secrets can be cross-ruffed with different technology areas, so I can put a little bit of sort of meat on the bones, if you would. So first of all, let's talk about pharmaceuticals. The patents can protect the active pharmaceutical ingredient, ensuring that you get the market exclusivity, whereas the trade secret is going to guard the synthesis process, how you make it, and the combination is going to keep competitors out. Let's take a tricky one, software development. The software methods, especially the methods that the user can see, should be patented, but there could be rules, databases, and APIs or algorithms that you don't put in the patent that really allow you to make the software much better. Let's move to biotechnology. For instance, genetic modification techniques can be what the patent is about, where you can secure licenses, investments, and everything. But however, getting the culture to grow, all the conditions of the temperatures and the gases and all that stuff could be a trade secret. So you can patent the genetic modification technique itself, but hold trade secret your culture system. Chemical industry is just a pure nice play here for patents and trade secrets. The unique chemical compositions that can be reverse engineered would be patented, but how you make it is a trade secret. And so to think about the Coca-Cola for a minute, their process of making Coca-Cola is their trade secret, but their ingredients can be seen in every bottle. And I'm sure that was patented at some point, but patents expire, in 20 years. Consumer electronics. Patents can cover the hardware and software, and they can be patented, and that'd be great. And investors would come in because you got it locked up with patents. But some of the things you could do for trade secrets is your supplier relationships. In other words, you may have a supplier that supplies some part of the consumer product at a very ultra low cost or high quality, and that partner would be a part of your trade secret, and therefore the patents protect the consumer product, but that unique supplier stays hidden. Happens all the time. Food and beverage, great different way of thinking about it. Here you could have an innovative vending machine that displays and helps, produce in the vending machine the product, producing brand, but then the precise flavors that you use could be used as a trade secret. There's a Coca-Cola vending machine that basically allows you to pick different amounts of different sodas and mix them in together. And so that vending machine and how to do that is patented, but the actual formulations are held as trade secrets. The automotive technology area is another one. Specific part designs can be patented, and they can show you how well you're doing your technology leadership, etc. But the manufacturing process that you use to make those components might be held as trade secrets. A couple more. Material science. There's a lot of ways to do this in material science, but the new materials certainly could be patented because I can reverse engineer them and see them. But, in actually making that material, there may be some very critical parameters that are controlled, like temperature or pressure, and that doesn't have to be in the patent. It can be held as a trade secret. In semiconductors, a field that I'm quite used to with my experience back in the IBM days as a semiconductor engineer, chip architectures and circuits and things like that, it's certainly very patentable. But things that are non-reverse engineerable are held as trade secret. Just imagine spinning a photoresist, a special photoresist on a wafer, developing it and etching it away afterwards. You'd never know what that photoresist was. So the photoresist to produce the image might be held as trade secret, whereas the actual image in the circuit itself would be patented. And finally, let's talk about clean energy. And let's talk about a totally different type of invention called a business model. So maybe you have a business model for renewable energy, a way to, supply energy from a particular battery pack, with the connection to a mobile device and a subscription, etc. But what you could do is have the algorithms that you create the efficiency algorithm and how much you charge. That could be a trade secret. So we can see in each of these different technologies that patents and trade secrets can be leveraged back and forth through cross-ruffing. Well, let's have some fun. I always like to do this because as an inventor, I always like to dream about the future. So if you have never heard about patents and trade secrets cross-ruffing tactic, We've just spent 20, 25 minutes on it, so clearly you know enough about it now to know what I'm talking about. But now let's talk about the future of these two. Well, what is in the future? Well, one thing that's certainly in our future is AI, right? So we could have an AI tool that helps you predict the strategy, where you're leveraging AI to define the trade secrets from the patent itself, or cross-ruffing. What do I mean by that? A lot of the tools and techniques that we use in our consulting practice at IP Capital, we put a lot of software behind them and AI tools and so on. So I could imagine easily from a patent to have an AI tool look at the patent and give you 5 or 6 different examples of where you might want to hold things as trade secret. I could imagine that tool being written, pretty quickly. So I could see that. Another thing we could do here as a futuristic thing is we can use holding companies where you put the patent in a holding company and you have your trade secrets. And so what happens is you could be leveraging your trade secrets in the market, but people won't be able to look up the fact that you even have patents. So by doing this, the holding company allows you to spring your patents up at any point in time. It's kind of like using a troll kind of concept of having patents in a holding company, have the holding company sue somebody. You'd never know who the owners of the holding company is. It's using that concept, but for your patents and using it to leverage your trade secrets. Another futuristic idea is to have trade secrets embodiments. And here what I mean is designing new patents that have trade secrets embodiments. So for instance, an embodiment that could lead a reader to want to know what the trade secret is. And your trade secret is something that is very worthwhile. So it could be a method of making a material with a novel heat treatment system, but you don't discuss the sensor that controls the heat treatment system. So what we're talking about here is having a patent with the specific embodiments in it, where the embodiments themselves are selling the trade secret. In other words, anybody who thinks that they want to take a license to this patent or even to copy it knows by reading the patent that there's trade secret information that they don't have. And spelling that out in a patent, I think, is a wonderful way of adding value to the patent. So another sort of futuristic idea is have an AI patent writer tool that suggests areas for cross-ruffing. Where are the areas in the patent that with trade secrets you could cross-ruff it? There are automatic tools that now help you write up patents. So this is like a module in that software that would suggest along the side as you're writing the patent up where there could be trade secrets to cross-ruff. Another thing we could do in our future is to use white space analysis as trade secret predictors. And by this, I mean that a lot of times when you do sort of landscaping and patent analysis, you're looking for white space where you can patent. That is where they are no patents or few patents could be lucrative as a way to develop patents in those white spaces. But we can use the same patent analytics now to create tools that show us where trade secrets might be. For instance, you might do something on electrical connectors, and you'll see the shapes and sizes and various types of electrical connectors. But the tool itself could recognize that a lot of the materials are not covered in the connector space. So now you have a white space of trade secrets. Another futuristic thing we could do is automate the trade secret creation from any patent filing. This is kind of wild, but I think very possible that you have a trade secret program where you're cross-ruffing patents, and when a new patent is defined in the business, there's an automatic process for patent counsel to secure a trade secret. It's embedded in the patent execution process. And this is a great way that maybe patent agents or patent counsel can create new services to sell to help their clients. Another futuristic thing is what's called IP cross-ruffing indexing. And by this, we mean you develop an index that rates the synergy between the patents and trade secrets. So what we can do is we say that I have this group of patents and this group of trade secrets, and how well do they reinforce each other? We do a lot of what's called IP due diligence. We just recently did one for an investor. We looked at the patents and found out that the patents don't cover much of the products. They have a lot more patents than they do patents that cover the products. But they had a statement that they had enormous trade secrets. So now we can add a lot of value to that diligence because they had a lot of trade secrets backing up their patents. So you can see we can kind of index those two together to tell an investor this is a highly rated intellectual property because there's a lot of trade secrets that cover the patents or vice versa. There's another thing that's happening in areas of the futuristic stuff of patents, and trade secrets, and that is that they're putting together blockchains to protect the trade secrets. In other words, your trade secret registry is in a blockchain. And what that does, it means that every trade secret has its own encryption key and code, and it's all locked up in a block. And so all your trade secrets are in the same chain, but the block of them is the whole thing. And so it's a way to access any one trade secret, but not see the others. But because we could do that, we could start thinking about this blockchain as a way that we could take the trade secrets, store them the same way, but now we can have in the same ledger the patents that connect to the trade secrets. So now we have a blockchain trade secret patent ledger, not just a blockchain trade secret ledger. There are actually companies now growing up where they're actually trying to sell the blockchain trade secret as a service. So this would be a wonderful addition of that. Another thing we could do for the future is maybe there would be at some point a patent trade secret cross ruff service. In other words, take everything I've talked about here and have a service that says, come to us, we'll help you file patents, but we'll also come up with the trade secret cross ruffing strategy. Certainly this is something that we, IP Capital, do, and I could see it's a very unique thing, but I could see that someone offering this as a new service, just like you can go find a patent attorney to file the patent. You could go find some strategists with some inventing capability for cross-ruffing patents and trade secrets. And finally, our old friend, large language models, ChatGPT and all the rest. You can use large language models and AI here in the future to have a corpus of data from your company that's fed into the AI, large language model. And when you file a patent, the AI prompts go after the corpus of data in your company to figure out where the trade secrets are related to the patent you're going to file. That's very possible doing today with some basic prompts, and I could see that happening right away. Now, there's all sorts of things that can happen for trade secrets and patents and cross-ruffing. Don't have time for, but let's sort of wrap up. We talked about a number of things. In the first area, topic number 1, we talked about patents and trade secrets and what they are in terms of the similarities and difference. We talked about sort of this nuanced understanding of the two. Both have legal protection against unauthorized use. Both bolster companies' competitive advantage. Both show they're critical for due diligence, and both deter competition. However, when we look at cross-ruffing, it reveals that there could be disparities between the two. For instance, patents are 20 years, trade secrets are much longer. Patents grant exclusive rights over the inventions, where trade secrets don't. They they stop unauthorized use. There's a formal registration for patents, and there's not for trade secrets. And through this cross-ruffing analysis, we can gain some insights here about how these similarities and differences now can be used together. In topic number 2, we talked about cross-ruff strategies of how to improve patents using trade secrets. And as we delved into this, we recognize there's a lot of insights here. We gleaned that there's a way to do selective disclosure of best mode, where you don't put your best mode in because of the timing, a way to hold your trade secrets back. We talked about how you can patent part and trade secret part, a wonderful approach. We talked about life cycle management as a way to just add this to your life cycle. We talked about other ways of doing this, like market-driven decisions and cost-benefit analysis, and ways to have strategic choices between patents and trade secrets. We even talked about patents and how you can do defensive publications of the patents, leveraging the trade secrets. Ultimately, by examining this, there's a lot of leverage here between patents and trade secrets, and we have a bunch of strategies that allow us to really improve the patents, leveraging trade secrets. In topic number 3, we talked about the reverse, which is how you basically look at cross-ruffing, improving the trade secrets by using patents. And here we talked about things like patent the process, but keep the formula secret. We talked about patent customer use of the trade secret, having the trade secret be something that you have, but patenting what the customer is going to be doing with those, patents as an application. We talked about this idea of the timeline, right? How to end the patent claim and then begin the trade secret, or end the trade secret and begin the patent. We talked about things like optionality, right? Having that optionality to make decisions between what is a patent, what is a trade secret, and how to work them back and forth. We talked about the patent analytical method, right? Performing an analysis that safeguards the trade secrets without revealing that information. We talked about the exit interview. We talked about how that could be leveraged, where any trade secret in the exit interview is added, it's improved by adding some simple-minded patents to doubly ensure that an employee leaves knowing that they can't copy the trade secret because there's patents. We talked about this double marketing on the website, how you can leverage both trade secrets and patents. And we talked about things like how to create the know-how for each patent that's filed, and how to have that know-how for each patent become the trade secret, and how to have that as an automatic process. We then delved into topic number 4, how to monetize patents and trade secrets, where we discussed how licensing agreements can be, how they can literally be license agreements for the patents and holding back the trade secrets. We talked about how you could dole out trade secrets and patents over time. We talked about how you could use this for joint ventures, how you can enter into joint ventures where one party contributes the patent and another contributes the trade secret. We talked to things like tiered licensing agreements where they get the patents and they get the trade secrets and they get the patents and they get the trade secrets so that nobody has to bite the whole apple to get involved in the technology. They can start someplace. We talked about patent-based loans, right? How you can get a loan on patents as collateral. If the loan defaults, they get the patents, but they don't get trade secrets, and you can come back and leverage those. We talked about the patent and trade secret bundling to enhance your IP story. Any IP story that you develop should be fortified with patents, of course, but by fortifying the trade secrets that leverage the patents, you can do even better, and vice versa. By having an IP story based on trade secrets, you can fortify it with patents. And that should add to the value of the race in general. We talked about in topic number 5, different areas of technologies that, in order to give you an understanding of that, I won't go through all 10 of them here, but we talked about pharmaceuticals and how you can trade secret the active ingredients becomes patented, but the synthesis becomes trade secret. We talked about software, right, where you can patent the method, but some of the algorithms can be held trade secret. We talked about biotechnology, where the genetic technique is patented, but the actual cultures that have produced the biotechnologies are not. And we talked about consumer electronics, hardware and software, and how the supply relationship can be trade secret to buffet and make the patent for the consumer electronics more valuable. We talked about food and beverage, thinking about innovative methods where flavoring becomes the trade secret and the vending machine becomes the patent. We talked about semiconductors and photoresist. The photoresist becomes the trade secret and the patents become the circuits. And then finally, we talked about clean energy, right, where the business model itself can be patented, but the algorithms that drive the business model become the trade secret. Finally, we moved into what I really like to do, which is to talk about the future of things. We talked about all sorts of ways where the future of cross-ruffing patents and trade secrets, where that future could be. We talked about things like AI predictive IP strategies, whereby you literally have AI tools that essentially, when you're writing the patent, it's telling you what the trade secret should be to cross-ruff. We talked about holding companies as a new model where you actually put the patents in a holding company where you're leveraging the trade secrets in the market, and you have, sitting as a surprise tactic, if you will, the patents in a holding company. So people can't look up the fact that you have patents. They just are dealing with you on the trade secret level. We talked about how you can use trade secrets in the embodiment of a patent. Literally, in the embodiments of the patent, you're writing in directions towards why you have trade secrets and why they're valuable. So you get the patent, but also the person reading the patent knows, I'm not going to be able to do this without the trade secrets. We talked about the future of white space analysis for patents, right? Where now we have the ability to do white space analysis, but have AI algorithms that look at the technology to figure out where the trade secrets could be. We talked about things like connectors, where all sorts of shapes and sizes and forces and pressures are used for these connectors, electrical connectors. But the AI tool comes up and says, there is no real art here on the materials that are used. We talked about the ability to automatically create trade secrets from the patent by having sort of the corpus of data of your company in a large language model. We talked about things like blockchain, right, where you have blockchains of trade secrets. Now we can have blockchains of trade secrets and patents with the cross-ruffing built right into the blockchain, showing how they relate. We talked about the future of patents and trade secrets as a cross-ruff as a service. We certainly do this, but we could see this turning into a service area. And finally, we talked about the AI-driven trade secret creation using large language models and AI to literally generate the cross-ruffing strategy and the trade secret and the patent. So the future is really bright for AI coming in, helping us leverage patents and trade secrets through cross-ruffing. I guess, last thing to say is this idea of cross-ruffing from the bridge has now led to sort of this thinking about how to leverage patents and trade secrets as a strategy. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a very winning set of tactics here to use cross-ruffing for patents and trade secrets. So if you like, please subscribe below. Come join our blog, Invent Anything, and also our podcast series here, and our new series, Inventor at Work. And if anytime you need us, just please feel free to email at info@ipcg.com. Thanks much and have a great day.